really bad. Thank you for finding us and joining us again. Really. Yeah, so that's Bull Brigade. Augusta Torinorum.
That's right.
Hey.
Torino sarà il tombo del fascismo. Anyone want to guess what that means?
Fuck fascists.
Turin will be the graveyard of fascism.
Nice.
Turin, Torino.
Mike, I have a suggestion. Because I'm looking at the stream and it's really grainy. And I think it's because I have so many things going. And I think I want to drop you from Skype and join you in on the other chat. And see if we can't get one less thing running on my house. You know what I mean?
The fascist, I'm telling you, it's net neutrality.
It is. It's Ajit Pai, definitely working with the NSA. That's why we're Russian bots. We're trying to fix this. You know, as soon as we're done live streaming, go into the web Tron style and shit. And like,
yep.
It's a trip, dude.
I am like 3,000 miles away. What can I do about it?
Well, no, I just want to, so just let me drop you off the Skype and then will you join the chat? Well, then will you?
For sure.
Okay. Get the fuck off my thing.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Hopefully, and that way, if I get that out of here, maybe we can get a little stronger signal.
You sound better already.
Yeah.
See, one of these days we'll get rid of Mike completely, and then I will always sound good. No, that's fucking totally not true. We'd be... None of this would have ever even possibly existed had it not been for him. There's just no way.
Yeah, that's right.
It was his big idea.
It really was.
So every time we do this, I'm like, here's a story. I can't help it. Can never see all those split screens without thinking of that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I get you. Because of the Brady Bunch when they had the... And they'd all be looking the different ways, and yeah, we're the P for P bunch. Yeah. Now, hey, really, thank you all for finding us and joining us and putting up with our jankiness. Yeah, it's not going to go on like this forever. We're going to keep plugging along with what we got, and but it won't be long, and we're going to have better gear. We're going to have a better camera. We're going to do this right, but. I'm really just kind of stalling to see, waiting for that to happen. Won't you accept that guy?
It's not coming up on my phone.
Move. Don't call me on, he just called me directly. You got to join the chat, homie. No.
You know what? Maybe you never called. Or
no, he just did. He just called me personally. And it won't let me get rid of it. What the hell? Whoa. What the hell? Okay. Now I can't. I gotta get rid of... What the fuck? What?
There he is.
Bye.
Oh, so I got the right one. Okay.
There you go. And your thing totally froze up my, there, now it's gone. Okay.
Hey, I was gonna wear the same shirt, Mike.
Wow, check that shot.
I mean, not the exact same shirt, obviously, but.
Looking at Aaron's ass the whole time, I can actually see you guys.
You can see my ass through my front side.
It's so funny, bro.
Please don't use your X-ray eyes on my Russian bot anatomy. Jesus.
The beginning of the last live stream started out with like your ass leaning on the camera.
Yeah, there's more than one.
No.
I think all of them
because
kind of
like
start out that way.
I see. I mean, look, I'm doing the best I can. Like, my production assistant's on a 100% constant 24/7 nod in the corner. I have a production assistant, but
You told him to leave before the show. I heard him.
okay, look, it's my fucking grandma. Okay, this is the basement. This is what I'm doing, and like, she busts her ass. I get peanut butter and banana sandwiches every day at 11:15. It's amazing, and she lets me, do my thing down here. And she promised that she would, do the production assistant stuff, but she doesn't. She just doesn't.
So basically, you're saying that you live in your grandma's basement, you don't work, and you play video games and sit on YouTube all day long making fucking anti-fascist videos, yeah?
Everything but the video games. I leave that to my son. He's the master of the video games. I don't know anything about them. Have I mentioned that I play Pong? I have played Pong. I seriously have played Pong.
Join us for Pong.
Yeah. But.
Pause for Progress, your Pong headquarters. Pong for Progress.
People.
We are your official Pong network.
Hey.
Okay, guys.
I used to be a merchandiser and sell those ping pong balls, and when that first started becoming, and I looked them up all. I felt like I don't know if this is even right.
I know one way that we can make it right, and I'm pretty sure that Aaron can back me up on this.
That we can make things right?
How about we turn punk rock bowling into punk rock pong?
This is going to happen.
Why didn't you guys think of that before?
I don't know. Okay. So we should... The one topic we have on the table... Actually, we'll just save it for the end. I do want to hear about... You have a report that you put together. I don't know anything that's in it, Rad. But... Yeah, what do we have to look forward to on Punks for Progress from your new report?
A new report, it's just, a lot of it, I wanted to touch a little bit. It was on a few kind of recent occurrences, but the main one that you'll probably see is, the encounter, the all famous encounter at the Women's March between Nathan Phillips and the stupid kid whose name I forgot.
Indigenous Peoples March.
Indigenous Peoples March.
Right, at the same... Well, the Covington Catholic kids were at the March for Life. That's what they were in D.C. for, but...
That's cool.
It was a crazy... It was a... I keep using that damn ableist word, but... sorry. Seriously. But, yeah, it was a jam-packed weekend of different marches and confrontations and different factions of people conflicting, and like it was a really tough weekend to keep up and keep straight. But so you touch on the Indigenous Peoples March with Indigenous Elder Nathan Phillips and his experience and that stuff, right?
Right, and also a little bit of like, some of the new footage or new evidence that we have been hearing about as well.
Which we're going to touch on a little bit tonight, but it's always good to get different perspectives too, and
yeah.
And what's up, Adam Rainstopper? Welcome. Just saw you join in the chat. But there's other topics that you're going to be touching on in it as well?
Yeah, it's kind of a slightly shorter one, mostly because one, I'm going to try to make them a little bit more frequent, and two, I was on a bit of a time constraint. And then I touch on some of the other things that happened. I touched on, the identity politics versus the everybody issues sort of thing, and then I go on from, well, you'll see it.
Excellent. So watch for that.
And then I play a video.
So
and then it's done.
Stuff from him and get it posted. If not tonight, tomorrow for sure. But why don't we go ahead?
Rad report.
Yeah, fine. And please do check out the original Rad report if you haven't checked it yet. It doesn't sound like you did a proper anti-fascist football ultras report this time.
Oh no, an ultras report is coming up.
Okay, so that's
what that last song was about.
Excellent. So
we'll get there.
That's what I really love because about Rad's vision for the Rad report, and if you check out the first one, it's all there. It's fucking really great. But I don't know. I'm an American. I don't know a whole lot about real fucking football and the anti-fascist history versus fascist history and the ultras and the everything up in the terraces and all that stuff. And Rad knows his shit. And he's going to be bringing you regular updates, not only on scores, but like focusing on different anti-fascist ultra clubs and spotlights and that kind of stuff. And I love it because I get to learn about that stuff more because I'm super fascinated by it. But like, I'm just not going to watch a 3-hour sporting event. It's not my bag.
Oh, it's 90 minutes.
My uncle is totally into football, but I don't know what team he like. Well, he was Scotland, but then he married a Brazilian woman, and I don't know what team now. So,
right. Hey, Mike.
Brazilian team.
You're watching the chat mostly. Hey, everybody in the chat, I'm just kind of curious, just out of curiosity, what was kind of the last thing we were saying when the stream cut out? It sounds kind of like a weird side tangent thing to ask, but like, just we're on a. I know we're on a huge.
Leading up to what?
One I know.
What Ralph was going to say about his report and Catholic.
One I know we have a really strong delay, like a really huge delay tonight too. Like some people have been talking about like a 2-minute delay. Hey, what's up, Bobbio? Yeah, it just to have an idea of where we're at. It just anyway. But yes, I do want to get into. I do want to get into. Okay, first of all, so I did a full video about my understanding at the time of what went down at the Indigenous Peoples March, and my narrative was somewhat similar to what most people have heard, is that this group of kids from Covington Catholic High School showed up and took it upon themselves to disrupt the Indigenous Peoples March. As it turns out, in light of new information, that is inaccurate, and that's why I deleted my video.
Correct.
And for that one reason and that one reason alone, I find no other fault in my. I didn't actually speak in the video. I used text and a bunch of different footage from different pieces and angles and things, and from some different creators, and I stand by all of that footage. It's accurate footage because it's just raw footage of what was going on. There was nothing nefarious in the intent of the footage, but it's come to light that there's. So this is the one thing I'm retracting, and it's important. I think it's an incredibly important point, is the kids from the fascist training camp, Covington Catholic High School, did not initiate what went down at the Indigenous Peoples March. It is a fucking fascist training camp, and I stand by that. And that's why everything else in my video and everything that we said in our What the Fuck report last night, in our narratives of our critique of the behaviors of those kids and the institution that trained them to be that way, I stand by it 100% fucking completely. But to say that they initiated that was inaccurate, and that is my mistake as a creator, and that's why the video is gone. I'm not going to take down the What the Fuck report because we essentially were espousing the same narrative. But, this is a daily show. This is like a daily stream, and we go with the information we have at the time. But something where I'm not going to leave something standing that I put, a bunch of hours in pre-production work into and just let it sit there and go, yeah, it's okay. even though it's just inaccurate, So.
No, and unfortunately, the video that shows what happened in the very, very beginning started coming to light later.
Right.
So, I mean,
right.
we're probably not the only people that got that part wrong. Some people are still getting it wrong.
No, a lot of people got stuff wrong.
Sticking to it.
Actually, what I wanted to do is, there's a short little piece on Mediaite that talks about the way the mainstream press has sort of responded. Because, a lot of journalists and stuff, a lot of people from all fucking factions of the fucking class structure were disgusted by this and said a lot of stuff like, disgusting and racist behavior, what's wrong with these kids, right? And then when we find out, and listen, we're going to get into who initiated it and what actually, we're going to get into that, okay? But bear with us. But these people were, have gone back in light of the new information of how the whole confrontation kicked off. A lot of these media outlets are doing what they should do, is retracting bad information. But what we're finding out is they're like deleting tweets and retracting things like, wow, what those kids did was really racist. I don't understand why you would delete that tweet. I stand by it. Those kids are a bunch of fucking bigots. They've been raised to be fucking bigots. Right. It's just
not even heaven.
And so,
for fuck's sake.
So like, let me find it. I mean, go ahead and talk for a second. I mean, because like, it's important that we retract. I tell you to talk and then I keep talking. It's important. It's important to retract. And I was really happy to find this piece when I got home, because we had already planned on, like, I couldn't delete the video while I was at work all day. So as soon as I got home, I deleted the video. And then I saw this piece on Mediaite and just thought it was really apropos of, the whole issue. And like, I just think that the way that these people handled this is just totally fucking wrong. God damn it, where is it? Like literally right before we started, I was looking at it, had it queued up, and now I don't see it. It was
the last video on the chat.
No, it's not a video. It's just a very short article.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One of the things that's interesting is the Covington Catholic School students are considering suing outlets for disparaging their character. So that's why all these...
They didn't need any help disparaging their own character.
Right. But see, that's why all these fucking journalists and stuff are freaking out. That's why all these journalists are freaking out and deleting all their tweets because they don't want to get fucking sued. But the thing is, like, calling those kids racist and their behavior bigoted, you can't get sued over that. The only thing that they reported that's wrong is that they initiated it, just like we did, because that's what the general understanding from people who weren't there on the street was. Here it is. Fuck. Sorry, it took me so long. So it says journalists and celebs rush to delete tweet slamming MAGA hat kids. Over the past 24 hours, journalists, and this is from Mediaite, over the past 24 hours, journalists and public figures on Twitter have deleted previous posts slamming a group of MAGA hat-wearing teens for allegedly taunting a Native American vet after more footage was released disputing the initial story. From CNN's Jake Tapper to Dilbert cartoonist Scott Adams, many on the internet are sharing a fuller explanation of the initial viral story. Others, however, are very subtly just using the delete button. Recode editor at New York Times contributing co-op writer Kara, for instance, Kara Swisher, for instance, deleted one tweet saying she was thinking of, quote, finding every one of these shitty kids and giving them a very large piece of my mind, and throwing slurs like Nazi and nationalist. Sinclair chief political correspondent Scott Thurman deleted a tweet alleging students in MAGA hats were mocking and taunting a Native American in front of the Lincoln Memorial in D.C. asking in a new tweet if the new video changed minds about the kids. After Trump activist anti-Trump activist Ed Krasenstein deleted a neutral tweet contemplating the intentions of Nick Sandman, that's the kid who's facing off against Nathan Phillips, the young MAGA student accused of smirking at a Native American. His brother Brian Krasenstein deleted a tweet calling the students bigoted. The New Republic's Jeet Here deleted a tweet arguing the MAGA hat-wearing teens were racist. CNN's Bakari Sellers deleted a tweet suggesting the kids should be, quote-unquote, punched in the face. Hollywood's Patton Oswalt deleted a tweet linking to a critical thread that didn't go so far as dox the teens, but identified alleged culture problems at the school. Oswald did leave up subsequent retweets maintaining his position that they were at fault. And CNN's Ana Navarro deleted a tweet calling out the asswipe parents of the students for teaching them bigotry and racism.
That stuff's all true. I mean, I don't.
Right. Why would you delete that shit?
A minor, but
literally none of that should have been deleted.
All true.
Why would you delete any of that?
They didn't start it.
If anyone can get sued for any of that, then Donald Trump would literally be 100% bankrupt by now.
Right.
For all the shit that he said on Twitter since 2015 or whatever, or even before that.
What's that, Mike?
Bobby said in the chat the fact the entire school staff locked their Twitters immediately speaks volumes.
Yes, it does.
Soberpunk mocking chants and drummers is pretty goddamn racist.
Yep.
Yep. So that's the thing is like, you know, hey, Bobby, I really, because I want to get into how it all kicked off. But out of all of the Punks for Progress family, Bobby O knows the most about, not necessarily the individuals themselves that created the issue, but he knows a lot about their past history of the group that did start it, which was not the kids. And I would, Bobby, if you'd be into it, man, join the P4P fam chat, and maybe we can talk about it. I mean, if you're not down, if you're busy and you're like just incapacitated in some way, that's fine. But and I guess I can explain it. But
Bobby says he's down, man.
Okay, we'll call in, and I'm gonna readjust the camera because it looks like it's slipping.
I thought you were gonna fall. Jeez.
You were hoping.
No, I wasn't. I actually go up every time.
Does the stream kind of look really grainy and like shit to you guys?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then it's just my view of it.
Just rad.
That's a cultivated shitty, man.
Rad's all aglow.
It looks like a colonoscopy.
Jesus Christ. You call Rad a colonoscopy tonight. Last night, Shan was a chicken shit conformist. You know that's what he called when you couldn't hear it last night, Shan? When we were streaming last night?
I didn't hear. I never.
You guys, I heard all that.
I meant all of it, even if it wasn't true. For you, my fellow Russian bot, there are no retractions.
Whatsoever. I meant all of it, even if it wasn't true.
That's something my dad
You a
would say.
colonoscopy, Aaron. Oh, wait, what? Are you live?
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
delete
shit.
that.
Oh, shit. So, Bobby said, yeah, he's going to join us.
Yes,
Bobby.
sir.
You just got to call in, man. Just go into the thing and call us.
Just go and do the thing, push the thing, and then the thing will do the thing.
Access
And
that.
it'll go ding, 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 or whatever the hell it does.
Well, you got to.
There's some
Yeah, okay, cool.
Who's in here with us?
Whoa!
Oh, there
Whoa!
you go.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm looking scruffy as fuck.
How the hell did the Bronx get
Who's
in here,
Who's
dude?
in here? I see all my people. All my people.
Holy
those
shit.
Black Hebrew Israelites are a right-wing fucking group.
Okay, so
And
hold on.
Yeah.
That's the first time that that our viewers have heard it from us. So let me just set it up this way. One, what's up, fucking homie? Welcome, Bobby O from the Bronx.
I love Aaron and Mike and Shannon and Rad's there. Rad, don't hate me, brother. I love you. I want to hug you in San Francisco. Fucking, without a doubt. But fucking, yeah, like, yo.
You can hug me, but first you must speak with my fist.
Listen, I went and downloaded fucking Inglourious Bastards in 1080p last night just for you. Fucking. And I haven't watched that movie in about 10 years, and I was watching it last night, and I was like, okay, now I get half this guy's fucking jokes. Because, like, you know, it's like, if I don't know what's going on, just like, yeah, I remember that movie, but, like, I'm watching it last night, and I'm like, okay.
And then the other half of my jokes, The Big Lebowski.
Oh, like, I'm getting text from WhatsApp, fucking. But I was fucking phone banking all day. Like, I'm so fucking grouchy. Like, it's the worst part of anything. Like, it's like, I hate having to fucking ask for money.
Give me money, please.
Well, thank you for putting the time in and doing it. I think Nomiki will be a fantastic public advocate, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate you doing it.
Tommy like us, you know, fucking, she's down with the red and black.
So, okay. So, now that all introductions and whatnots aside, there was someone who actually did initiate the shit that went down at the Indigenous Peoples March, and it wasn't the manifestation of the fascist training camp. So explain to us who these people were. So there was these other individuals that looks like these kids, and I'm going to give you room, Bobby. Give me just a second. It looks like these kids. First and foremost, this was a Covington Catholic school funded and organized trip to the March for Life, and they all had all their Trump gear and whatever. And they do this every year, as Shan said last night. And one of the things that they do every year, it looks like, is they go to those same steps and take a group picture, and then they get in their bus and they're out. So it looks like that's all these kids were doing, okay? We'll get into the problematic nature of this school taking them to that type of march and all that in a minute. But, so that's what they were doing. They were going there to get their group picture and fucking bail. I don't think, and I think we even said this last night, I don't think they had any notion that there was an Indigenous Peoples March, or I don't think that they fully intended to go there to do that, right? They just came up on this thing, and when they're there, something happens, right, Bobby?
Well, there's just so much shit to unpack with that situation. Like, first of all, if you saw, like, when they pan out and they show how many fucking kids were really there, there's like 100 kids there. And I didn't see any fucking adults. And as someone that worked in the Board of Ed, like, where we only had like 20 kids tops in a classroom in special ed, you're fucking constantly head counting, worried about something, what's going to happen. If someone of the kids get hurt, you get a fucking lawsuit. So what I don't understand is, how are all those kids stand there all by themselves, not being supervised whatsoever? Like, I understand you let the kids go off and come back at a certain time, but I don't know. Like, there should have been an adult there, first of all. And what are those guys? Like, listen, those guys were talking shit and yelling all kinds of junk, disparaging people for being gay.
What guys, Bobby?
Huh?
What guys, Bobby?
Oh, the black Hebrew Israelites. You know, like, they were all like, oh, you're all protesting abortion, but what about gay people? They didn't say gay people, though. They I don't want to say it on the live stream, but, they were using, like, some nasty language. There was a black kid among the
Yeah, I heard they called him the N-word.
Yes,
they called that kid the N-word. They were like, oh, you think they're your friends.
Like, with the hard R.
So this is... Hold on, guys. Because the reason I wanted to bring Bobby on is because he knows some back history of this group. So I'm going to give him...
tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a chance to do that. But first, so what happens is they're on the steps. There's this group, the Black Hebrews or the Black Hebrew Israelites, okay? And these guys, and I've seen the video of it this morning, and this is when I knew I had to delete my videos this morning when I saw this, was that these guys, they called these kids, listen, they're high school kids, and a lot of their behavior towards Nathan Phillips, they're old enough to answer for it, but these Black Hebrew Israelites were calling them incest babies. And
that's not right.
Really gross shit to children, man. school shooters and like they're all rapists and just really disgusting, taunting them and really arrogantly, like the way Fash taunt us in a lot of ways.
Right.
Well, they are fascist because the black Hebrew Israelites are considered a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Okay.
You know.
So hold on, one more thing, and then I promise I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
So they're doing that. They're just taunting them, and then the way these kids react is, I think, the way any teenager, even though these are little like fascists in training, they just kind of did all their cheers and got together and fuck you. Why are you yelling at us? Fuck you, homie. And then Nathan Phillips, the righteous indigenous elder that he is, the long experienced wise man that he is, stepped in to play his drum and play his song to try to diffuse what was happening between these two people, right?
He saw the ugliness and he stepped in.
Yep.
That's right.
He absolutely got in between it. Like,
right.
I honestly believe that. He got in between the two sides of hate.
As as a total peacemaker, and it's just clear, you can't watch any footage of him and see him as being anything other than like an appeal to love and peace and harmony, period. So
right.
So the kids did. Now, their reaction when they went off on, and the way they treated Nathan is completely unacceptable. And it is all those tweets we talked about deleting. Those were all accurate shit about their behavior in that moment. When Nathan Phillips walked in to try to diffuse the situation, the way those students handled it is that becomes a whole nother story, and it's inexcusable, and I think it speaks completely 100% to the Covington Catholic School, the Covington Catholic Church, the fucking Covington Diocese. It speaks to the parents of those kids that went out and bought them all that brand new Trump gear and has bolstered this toxic fucking environment that they're raised in, which they have one black student. One. It's all white male. Go Trump. They got fucking John Wayne in the hallway of their fucking...
You know what they call that, right?
What do they call it?
Like token.
I mean, that's the word that's used, man.
But
listen, I don't want to belittle him that way because, look, I mean, this is, one kid who might have an opportunity that others don't, and I'm happy that he has entree into something that people from his community don't normally do, and I wouldn't want to belittle him as calling him that because he's a human being, bro. And like,
I don't know.
But to them, I'll guarantee you, they're all his best buddy. But I'll guarantee you, they are all talking about N-word jokes with him constantly, and he's cool with it. Because if he's not cool with it, then what? And then they'll be like, he don't care, he's our homie, because I don't know that they do this, but this is so rampant in
but it happens.
When communities where it's all white people with one black friend, they're always telling N-word jokes to their black friend. And
they think it's okay because, hey, he says it's okay, so we can do it.
Right.
Bobby, was it you that I was talking to that there was an article about that there was actually another school there, and I did in one of the videos see a couple girls, and it's an all-boys school, so I'm thinking that that's correct.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that.
There was another school there for the march. I don't know the name of that school.
In the promo video that I watched, there's no female students at Catholic High School.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's true. They were there for what fucking, no public school could send the kids to fucking any march, but private schools, they're sending fucking kids to, I don't understand it. Why are you sending people under the age of 18 right to life marches?
Yeah.
Because it's a fascist fucking training camp.
Right. What I can't think of any other possible reason why that would be. It's like
it's indoctrination.
Adults trying
Public schools would get sued.
Right. Public schools will get sued for trying to mold these malleable kids' political views.
And isn't it weird?
That's why we can't take, yes, they're fascists and yes, they're wrong, but they're still kids.
Yeah.
So it's, I touched this in my report that's going to release soon. It's like, they need a stern talking to, but at the same time, it's like,
Right.
you know, if you look at it as two sides spouting violent rhetoric against each other, yeah, it's both, you know, it's considered violent because of what it represents, but in that situation, let's be fair, an unfair fight's an unfair fight.
So, Bobby,
You know, I think those kids just need a little more stick than carrot. You know?
yeah,
Because it worked on our generation. You know?
yeah.
You spoke out of line and you said some dumb shit, you were held accountable for it.
Well,
Nobody's
well,
held
there it
accountable
is.
for anything anymore.
And just to be, and like, yeah, that, well, here's the thing is like, they've obviously not been taught enough life lessons to differentiate between the Black Hebrew Israelites and Nathan Phillips. And to me,
to be fair, a lot of people don't really know who that group is.
well, right, but still the bottom line is, you don't have to know any of their affiliations or their history. It's just, this man playing his drum is not the person that was calling you names. Why are you treating him this way? And that's why an adult, there was an adult there. And in the video that I deleted, I showed a picture of him. And I think I got it from you, Bobby.
Probably.
Oh, no. Well, there's a priest that was their chaperone. And he's the one that took them to the March for Life.
When he was like posing in front of something with the hat on.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
And so he's the adult that was there. Now, his role should have been at that time to step in and go, whoa. Like,
yeah.
I think the way they handled their reaction to the Black Hebrew Israelites was actually pretty cool. They did school cheers and just said, fuck you, we're going to be who we are. And this is who we are. We're from the school we go to.
Times Square.
Totally okay, right?
They usually get drowned out.
But then what should have happened when they directed their efforts onto Nathan is the adults from their fucking community should have said, whoa, students, whoa, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is not demonize the kids too much for not having the life experience to understand the situation they were in. And that's why adult supervision is so important. And that's why a public school would never take your fucking kids to something like this. And
you know, also, we can't ignore the fact that the media is a lot to blame for all of this.
Yeah.
They came out right away, oh, these kids were fighting with black Muslims. And it's like, just leave it to the fucking mainstream media to get it so wrong. And of course you hear that and you're going to automatically choose sides.
They're not black Muslims at all.
At all.
They're not homophobic, actually.
And so this is the thing. So here it is, Bobby. You actually, in your neighborhood, you were telling me this today. So Bobby's not an expert on Black Hebrew Israelites, but he definitely has firsthand experiences with them. So anecdotal explanation, just to be clear, right? But you do have past experiences. I'm going to say not with those guys. That was DC, but
yeah, but that organization.
So go ahead. Tell us about what you know about them, homie.
Just a little background. The Black Hebrew Israelites were founded like sometime in like the mid 80s, I believe in Kansas. And they immigrated up to like New York City, and they got chapters all over. But the Southern Poverty Law Center has them labeled a hate group, and they're a right-wing group. I mean, if you listen to their rhetoric, if you listen to like if their behavior, their tactics, they're like the alt-right or more comparable to like something like white Aryan resistance, but like the black version, you know. And they just like they disparage gay people when they walk by them, if they disparage interracial couples, white people, and you can go on YouTube and type in Black Hebrew Israelites Times Square, and you'll see dozens of videos. And like they dress up in like their costumes, like if they're Egyptian, and they interpret the Bible from like an extreme black supremacist.
And the Torah too.
Yeah, they incorporate the Torah as well, and they
believe they're the real Hebrews, right? They believe they're the real descendants of Abraham and Moses.
They're the original Hebrews, and that the Bible says that white people are a scientific experiment gone wrong. Like they're steeped in conspiracy theory.
Yep.
And they basically just scream like anything at like any marginalized group that walks by them. You know, it's like they'll even yell at black people that they see walking with white people. They'll yell at white people, and they do it right next to the cops. Like in Times Square, like the cops have like a makeshift precinct where like it's like a little post, and they'll be like within like a block of that because they know if anything goes down, the cops are right there and they're gonna intervene. You know, and there's a lot of them too. Like, you don't really want to fuck with them. There's like usually 20 or 30 of them on the corner, and they just preach from the Bible and they preach their interpretation of it, and they're good. Like they have like the Bible memorized, where like somebody will walk by and say something to them, and the leader will snap his fingers and be like, "Read for me, blah 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 blah." And the way they read it and the way they interpret it, it's like, wow, like these guys definitely study the shit and like know how to manipulate the Bible to fucking say what they want to say. And it's just, listen, like I hate the fact that I have to fucking defend like these little snot-nosed brats with MAGA hats.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want anybody to think I'm defending them, because I
Word.
think those kids are old enough to fucking know what they're doing is wrong.
Totally.
Yeah, you know, but the whole context of the situation was these guys were yelling at a bunch of teenagers. The teenagers reacted, and then it just turned into a big mess. And honestly, the media doesn't give a fuck, because this is a great story that polarizes people that they can make a lot of money off.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what it's all going to boil down to, you know. But at least the one good thing, like the one, like, you know, positive thing from it is that this guy Nathan and his cause, with the, you know, the whole indigenous people's cause, is going to be elevated, because everybody sees them in a positive light.
Word.
You know, and that's what's good. That's what's important. The fact that their cause is going to get some amplification out of this, and he looks like a hero of it.
Well, because he is.
So now, hold on a second.
Because he
My
is.
dog just took a dump in my fucking living room, and I got to clean it.
Hey, what's up? I just wanted to
Yo,
take.
it's like 14 degrees. I don't want to walk out there. Fuck.
What's
Hold
up?
on a sec.
What's up to A Bear? Just wanted to say much love to you, comrade. I see you up in here.
Hey, Bear and I are having a little chit chat in the chat. He's got his Kamehameha t-shirt on tonight.
Does he?
Well,
Hey, A Bear, let's do.
sorry, my bad.
Let's. Mike was saying that Punker Mike was saying that he may not be able to join me until late on Wednesday. Maybe we could do an report on imperialism on Wednesday, if you're free, like at 9 or 10 p.m. Eastern. Think about it. Got 2 days. But I really want to start doing that series, brother. But you know,
Yeah, I went to Catholic school too, you know, but I went to a fucking different type of Catholic school. Like, we weren't the Archdiocese of New York. We were like the Congregation of Notre Dame. It was like a bunch of nuns in Canada that like ran my school. But I fucking grew up in with kids that went to those types of Catholic schools like that, and yeah, like it hit so many fucking notes, you know, like just seeing all that shit, because like those kids were old enough to know what the fuck they were doing. That's the bottom line, you know. But those Catholic schools, like you used to get hit, like in fucking the 80s, they would fucking hit you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't do that shit anymore. But fucking, you got hit, and like it was you pay to pass, and they don't even, they put you to the fucking head of the class, you know. And it's disgusting, and it absolutely, those fucking like breeding grounds for fucking racism and fascism.
Yeah, absolutely.
and let me just point out that the Vatican had
And then they end up.
They had the Vatican. Oh, hold
Sorry.
on one section. The Vatican had very close, cozy relationships with both Mussolini and Hitler.
Yep.
They should fucking
And
melt down
fragile.
the Vatican. You know how many people you could feed with the gold in the Vatican?
Jesus.
Huh. Don't get me started.
Just loot it and melt it all down.
Well,
I had a
listen.
priest tell me one time. I asked him, I was like, you know, like if Jesus lived like a pauper, why is the Vatican so extravagant? And he said, oh, well, the money that the Vatican generates in tourism every year goes to help the poor. And I was like, give me a
Right.
fucking break.
Yeah, ask Saint Francis of Assisi what he thinks of that. Yeah, I don't think
Bake
Saint
sale.
Francis of Assisi would be too proud.
Yeah, you know.
Just saying.
I wanted brownie.
That's
What's
it. Have a
up,
fucking bake sale. You don't need all these extravagant gold.
Hey,
I told my
I-
story about the fucking Catholics
Hey, Rev.
coming out before
Yes, sir.
Christmas, motherfucker, MAGA Catholics.
MAGA
There you go.
Catholics.
MAGA calf.
That's a good one. I like that. You should copyright that.
I don't even ever win. It leaves a bad fucking taste in my mouth. I hate those people. Sorry, I have a major resentment.
Hey, Aaron, what do you think about doing a show tomorrow since, today was a holiday? I've got time tomorrow afternoon. I'm pretty sure I could make it by, 7 Pacific time.
It's possible. It's possible. I'm not going to commit to it. Here's why. Here's why.
Most of our outlets.
I have a because my nephew, who is named after me, turns 21 in the beginning of February, and my brothers and my cousin and we're all going to Vegas, and I'm trying to plan this, and all the stuff I've been doing to plan it over the last 4 days is nothing because I've been making videos about FASH rallies in Boston and Indigenous Peoples March and FASH Catholic schools and streaming, and I was kind of looking forward to tomorrow having off so I could get all this shit taken care of. But that doesn't mean I'm saying no. Let's talk tomorrow, and if I have the time to get all this shit figured out, then I'm into it. I've been saying from the start I'd like to do this 5 days a week, but and especially with all these technical problems that we've been having, which we're starting to work through, that was why I wanted to go 3 days a week to start, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then just hang out on Sunday. But the goal is to go 5 days a week anyway. So
you guys are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry. See, now I just use it. That's a hard one for me too.
It's hard.
You guys are so proactive. I can't handle it. Put it that way.
But I want to talk a little more on some developments on the Reagan U show. But first, I was thinking maybe Bobby could pick a song.
Whoa, pick a song.
Somebody in the chat was just talking about The Cure.
I'm going to pick some anti-fascist music for us.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
We played some really hardcore.
So, Bobby, go with you too, homie, so I can get it.
Yeah, what the hell is the name of the band? Bad Will.
Bad Will?
Yeah, you know what? Let me send you the link because it's in Russian and I don't read Russian.
Well, I won't be able to get to it. Just.
Oh, and I can't send it to the chat in the message.
It's just because that. How is it spelled? Oh, Bad Will is I bet this is it.
B-A-W.
Yeah.
B-A-W-A.
And then so it's in what is it? Cyrillic, is that right? But it looks like
blood all pride.
Like in English, okay, in the Cyrillic it looks like it says Bawa Kababpi Hawa.
That's it. That's the one.
I think that's Vasha.
Vodka?
Kylie the Krankenschwester.
Vasha, like V-A-S-H-A or something like that.
Yeah, that's definitely Vashin.
I just want to say Punk for Progress, Kylie the Krankenschwester would know.
Punk for Progress, your Cyrillic's interpretation headquarters.
Oh my god.
Oh shit. Okay, so let me pull this. I gotta minimize you guys, which I love to do. I love minimizing my friends.
Yeah, give him one of these, all of us. Brad.
I love my friends.
Minimizing us.
No, I love the fam, But okay, so this is Bad Will.
Loves harassing us.
And this is the official DIY version. And I'm not going to say any of the other words.
Your blood all pride.
Yeah. Every third word because I'm a Russian bot.
They sound like
exactly.
They sound like a Russian version of Hate Breed.
Yeah, or Earth Crisis or something like that.
Or definitely, yeah, more Earth Crisis, definitely.
Like old Earth Crisis.
But Earth Crisis can go fuck themselves.
Why would happen? What did they do?
Fucking bunch of fucking xenophobic bullshit and fucking
really?
Yeah, fuck them, man.
What?
They had beef with One Life Crew back in the
actually,
90s.
because I wasn't planning on talking. I can't
remember. Fucking racist band from Ohio.
It's the singer. It's the singer.
I didn't know that.
It's just the singer, and I can't remember exactly what it is now. I shared it to the page. I could be wrong that it was xenophobic stuff, but it was straight bigoted fucking bullshit. And it's from his book and fucking.
I thought they were like all like positive and like vegan and shit. Or
Supposedly.
I don't know, man. A lot of toxic masculinity in that fucking movement, bro. You know that, Bobby.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the fucking bro core.
Yeah.
Fuck, I used to call it fucking cheeseburger core. They fucking, but like back in the late 90s, I think Snapcase, One Life Crew, and Earth Crisis were all on Victory. And One Life Crew was a fucking Nazi band. Like, they had fucking songs about the fucking KKK and shit. And they totally tricked Victory. And they fucking got signed and they put out a record like American Justice or some shit.
Wow.
And then the record came out and it was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Like, Victory is
But Victory put it out? I mean, like, well, they probably were contracted.
Yeah.
They probably contracted with them, yeah.
Oh,
and
God.
they had no idea what the fuck they were about. And then, like, after they got thrown off of Victory, the singer from One Night Crew, like, there was, like, some legendary voice messages that, like you know, voicemail calls that got put on the internet with the singer from One Night Crew threatening Earth Crisis and Snapcase. And it was pretty fucking gross, like, what the guy was saying. But, yeah, fuck all those bands.
Fucking.
Snapcase is all right as far as I know, but
So
One Night Crew definitely trash.
we talked a lot last night about the Reagan U show, and we showed you video that none of you would have been able to see on this screen. But we made a lot of claims and a lot of speculations about the nature of the people who got their asses fucking kicked. We didn't know for sure. And now we do. And we were fucking right. They were fucking Nazi fuckbags. Boneheads, man.
Yeah, wearing a Screwdriver shirt, right?
Yeah. You know, and
the worst band ever.
Oh, we gotta hear the first record. No, fuck you.
Oh, Screwdriver?
Fuck Screwdriver.
Everything. It's all fucking
I
garbage.
still refuse to listen to the record of theirs that everyone says is good. No, fuck that.
all screwed up, which
I knew as far back
I
as
enjoy.
high school not to like that.
I enjoyed all screwed up, and you know, I play on the stage every night. I liked his voice, and I liked that record. And
well, if you already know the record, then start a band and rip off that sound. Just
right.
fuck that guy.
Well, no, right. And
Isn't
then
he dead? He died a couple of years ago.
yeah. Bonehead Shouldn't Drive. That was the MDC song. Actually, it was Skinhead Shouldn't Drive, I think was the MDC song, but he wasn't a skinhead. He was a bonehead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you listen, listen, when that first record, I have to fucking because it's like it is a proper issue to talk about.
Shit, we're going there now.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Because I'm not gonna like debate you on it, bro. I'm not gonna disagree with you necessarily. You know what I mean? Because like your position is righteous as fuck. Fuck everything from. Do not ever go buy All Screwed Up. Do not buy that record. Like it's not racist. There's nothing on it that's problematic, and it sounds good. I enjoy that the music on that record, and I always said that I'm a guy who likes to sing in bands, and so like I look at singers, and I just always dug his voice a lot. But this is what I was gonna say too, though. I heard his later music when he was doing fucking like goddamn Leonard Skinner dirges and shit, and really trying to be all bluesy, and it was garbage. Like.
Basura.
Taking himself, basura, fuck, what garbage, dude. And Rahawa, remember Rahawa, dude? Like, that was just garbage too, man, you know?
I personally, I'm not a big...
Well, like, Rahawa was, they looked like fucking, they wore the Nazi fascist bonehead gear, but they
had the white suspenders and shit, right?
Well, bombers and the military look and whatever, but they like, tried to be metal too,
all the hardcore bands by the mid '80s.
Yeah.
It's really the same fucking style of music. If you look at hardcore and metal, there's so many similarities. It just made sense for those two scenes to collide when they did.
But then the death metal influence from
death metal was probably Possessed was probably the first death metal band.
What was the goofy death metal?
Boneheads grabbed onto that.
Yes, they did.
And
they tried to
graduated from the '80s, like just hardcore punk rock to.
Well, and then like a lot of them either grew out of it and became psychobillies, or didn't grow out of it and still became psychobillies. There was a real latching on to that whole rockabilly, psychobilly scene from them too. But especially a lot of the people who grew out of it liked it too. Like, I'm not trying to disparage like people who grew out of it and found psychobilly as a cool culture for themselves, but like that was a big one too that they went to.
Didn't.
Right. That's right. But it's
there's
just
a lot of bands that disappoint me recently.
These are
what the shit they say.
Well, and we're talking about fucking 30 years ago shit, man. That like this scene, we mentioned earlier how like a Gigi or a Mentors could not manifest in our punk rock scene today.
Forget it.
Right? But now we're seeing boneheads thinking that they can come out to a Reagan U show now. And
right.
Well, these are all kids. Dude, we were talking about this earlier. Like, these are just kids. Granted, a lot of them are like adults, but a lot of it is these kids that they get into it on the internet. They fucking read about the bands on Wikipedia, and they don't know. They don't understand. It's just they like the sound. They like the image. They don't know what started it, what it's about.
I think they went to start shit. I don't think.
Well, see, and that's I know, and Bobby, we actually corrected Punker Mike on the same point last night. Was that that is true. That is happening in a huge way. But in this specific case at the Reagan U show, these were older cats. These dudes were straight boneheads, like with affiliation. I'm not gonna say the name of their groups because fuck them. But they.
It's already over the internet. Especially
it's all over. But directly affiliated. And there's closer screenshots. There's this fucking dude with the Iron Cross shirt, and the dude that you see in the video, the red shorts, the screwdriver shirt.
Or from San Pedro.
Right.
And
where was
HB,
the other-
a lot of them from Huntington Beach, San Pedro, Huntington Beach, and there was one other town too.
But these
So they're basically like
people were
living under a rock.
somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, like I want to say, like, how many of them were there? How many of those kids were there at the Reagan Youth Show?
There were more than 3.
I'm gonna
More
say
than 3, but like less than 10.
what I'm gathering is probably
I think
5,
it's
maybe
4.
6, Rad, because like
Okay.
it looked like
Right. Single digits, right?
yeah. And
Okay, so what I'm getting at is, what the fuck did these people think was gonna happen?
They probably figured, hey, you know what? There's probably gonna be a lot of young kids at this show, young Antifa kids that like don't know shit. We're old school. Let's go there and show them what's up. And
Okay.
it didn't work. I mean, that's how it looks like to me. Like thinking about like trying to get in their heads and like what the fuck were they thinking? They probably figured, oh yeah, we're big and bad and these
Right.
these little soy boys.
Right, and
Okay, well let's.
hold on one sec,
Let's-
Rad, one sec. And like and the thing is, that's why the band is so significant. That it's Reagan
Right.
Youth specifically. It's not just
Right.
that it was a punk band and this is our scene. It's like take into account the fucking history of Reagan Youth and who they are. And like and you know, I think I said on our show that they just got back together. They've been having some reunions here and there and stuff, but like like this one's working for them. This is a really good time for Reagan Youth. And us punks that are really keen to be upset about fascism are like, fuck yeah, Reagan Youth, dude. Like,
Right.
not just because they're a good punk rock band, but because they're just so fucking on point. You know?
Yep. And they were relevant to what's going on now.
And doing it way back the fuck when. You know, these guys were like, their records are the original trolling. The album covers, layouts, the song titles, that was the original fucking troll the Nazis, dude. You know?
Right.
And
Exactly.
so this gets to what you're saying, Bobby, is like if they'd have went to like the Panic at the Disco show, these fucking 4 or 5 boneheads.
They would have fucking beat a lot of people up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they would have
we
been.
don't know for
Well, actually, no. Check it out. At a Panic at the Disco show, there would be so many fucking people there that they would have hurt some people, and they may not have. They wouldn't have gotten worked as bad as they did at the Reagan Youth show, you know. But like, I don't think that they would have beat up a bunch of people. I think that they would have hurt a few people, and after they hurt like 6 or 8 people. Right, after they beat up like 6 or 8 people, the crowd would finally be like, fuck that, and get rid of them or whatever. But like...
And at a show like that, there just wouldn't be that many people for them to fight who would want to fight them.
And it's not like if you show up to any punk rock show with a Screwdriver shirt, you're instantly going to get your ass beat. But if you show up to a Reagan Youth show in your fucking Screwdriver shirt...
And what your shirt and tattoos mean.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'll tell you guys real quick. Okay, so Aaron, you definitely remember this. All of you guys probably at least remember around the time when it was like there was probably like 1 or 2, maybe 3 weekly encounters with the far right in Berkeley and Oakland. Like, I think maybe over the summer, right?
Right.
Like 2017?
Yeah.
No, 28. Yeah, was it? No.
16 and 7.
No,
well,
yeah, maybe it was 2017.
It's like
Anyway.
just prior to the election, and then for like a good solid year and a half after the election. Like in the build up and in that.
Probably summer of 2017 or 2018.
Uh-huh.
No, 2017. Anyway, I was at a show. I'm not going to mention the band, but they were pretty much an all anti-fascist band, and that's what their music was about. And there was a show, and they in the middle of the set, some kid in the front row that like we were all a little bit suspicious instantly because we didn't know him, but in the middle of a song, the kid fucking starts Sieg Heil. The dude wasn't even white, which didn't even really make sense to me. And then, like, I swear to God, within 3 seconds, the entire band is kicking the shit out of this guy, along with some other people, and he immediately just gets thrown out of the venue. Now, it was somebody who we sort of found out later is not like a direct action, espouse those views in the field kind of white supremacist. but he was trolling. He was being a troll. And it brings you back to the what the fuck did you think was going to happen at that show?
Right.
Kind of thing.
Right.
Turns out he's kind of friends with the owner of the venue. The owner got pretty pissed, and then all of us was like, no, fuck that. You don't do that here, not even as a joke. It's not fucking funny. And it also reminded me of that time. Like, what was that Dropkick Murphys show on St. Patrick's Day that one year where, like, the braces wearing Bonehead gets up on stage and fucking, like, Zeke Heil's right in front of Ken, and then Ken punches him in the head and then starts hitting him with his bass. And it's again, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen by doing that at that show?
Because we're all soy boy libturd snowflakes. We're all soy boys. Every person who's not a MAGA chud is a soy boy. If you're not a MAGA chud, you have to be a weak little piddly soy boy. So fucking ridiculous.
To defend, I am a
That
soy
guy
boy.
made a Nazi salute sign at the Cockney Rejects just not a few months ago.
Yeah, like a lot of people in my neighborhood like the Dropkick Murphys, and they're not like punk rock or like remotely rock and roll at all. They're like
Irish.
they're Irish from my neighborhood. Right?
I know Catholics like that.
They're all fucking MAGA chodes, and they fucking, they just like the Dropkick Murphys because they're Irish, and it's like they're racist as fuck. And they don't know anything. They don't fucking believe in it.
Like
right, and all the people in the band are like, no, we don't want those fucking people listening to our music.
Okay.
What's that, Mike?
They believe in getting another paycheck.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, yeah, whatever. But they came out and said, was like, no, don't listen to our music. We're not about that.
Yeah, but there are a lot of fucking the racist fucking Irish dudes in my neighborhood.
I'm not denying that. It sucks. That shouldn't be the case, but yes.
And Flogging Molly is another band too. Everybody in my neighborhood loves Flogging Molly. Dig them. Like I think they're pretty cool with the fiddle and shit. That's another band. Like a lot of.
Can I just say?
Boys?
I just have to say. I think Flogging Molly is pretty all right, but I'm always gonna have a weird adversarial sort of perspective on them. Because I used to be in a band called Scurvy Bastard.
Still your sunglasses on.
Right.
I don't really know.
No, that was the bass player from Lagwagon. That was the bass player from Lagwagon who stole my fucking Ballaраmas. But my band Scurvy Bastards was an 8-piece Celtic band that did pirate songs, and we're a bunch of punk rockers. And I just have to tell you that it was probably our third or fourth show. We were all together and getting ready to go play a gig. And one of our close friends came up and was like, whoa, have you heard this? This is this band Flogging Molly. And we were all like, she was like, you're going to love them. You're going to love them. And all 8 of us were like, we weren't instantly stoked. That's that competitive thing in music, right? But like,
right.
But my ultimate assessment is, I think Flogging Molly was pretty fucking cool, man. And like, but so aside from my initial like, oh, it's a competitive thing, is I stand by this. I think that the Scurvy Bastards album, which is on Slovenly Records, if you'd like to find it, it's a full LP. It's called Battleborn. I think it's better than Flogging Molly. And we. For whatever reason, it's 8 people, and half of us hate each other now, and whatever, and
that's how it goes.
We all did shitty things and whatever. Okay, but like if we hadn't, it was always one of those things where like if we hadn't sort of imploded, I just think that we offered something a little more authentic than they did, because we weren't on the look how Irish and Scottish we are. And like, our accordion player has he's still to this day, he's one of the lead pipers for the Sierra Highlanders, which is, full pipe and drum band. And so we had a really rich understanding. I learned being in that band, a real proper understanding of Irish and Celtic and Scottish folk music and like real people's fucking music like that, because of a couple of the members of Scurvy Bastards that had been steeped in that stuff their whole lives. So yes, we all loved the Pogues, just like Flogging Molly and just like Swingin' Utters and just like Dropkick did. We all loved the Pogues, but we had a unique thing that I think had a little more rich thing. And if you don't believe me, seriously, look up Scurvy Bastard's Battleborn album and listen to it. I think it stands for itself. I think it's amazing. So, but like. Sorry, way side tangent-y thing. Here's the thing too, though. If Scurvy Bastards had been the band if Scurvy Bastards had gotten there on that level, I'll tell you, those Irish Scottish people that like Dropkick, the racist fucks, they wouldn't have liked us. They would not have liked us. We wouldn't have, and that's not to diss Dropkick or Flogging Molly. They properly represent Irish culture in a really awesome way, and like, but I'm Scottish too, and if it's not Scottish, it's
Yeah, me too.
What is it, Michael? It's crap, isn't it? If it's
crap.
yeah.
I'm Scottish.
Right.
The same guy who said that
like
these
a
shirts have
Canadian
3
Scottish
sizes.
brother.
Wee, not so wee, and fucking huge.
Going on like
Oh my god, you
my boyfriend. Just so you know.
So listen, how about we play one more song, and
let's put it.
I was gonna Punker Mike, would you just shut the fuck up, man? Jesus. I was gonna say if this asshole would pick a song, because he hasn't picked one all night, but you just want to babble on and talk the whole time. No, Michael, would you? Yeah, would you please pick a song for me to play? And then before we get out, I would like you to pick a song, and then I would like to come back and tell a little story about a Sick of It All show I went to with a bunch of fucking Nazis that were saluting Sick of It All. And it went, whoa. It just went, whoa. Oh, shit, dude.
The lyrics.
Yeah.
Right?
And so I'll tell that story, but let's pick a song, Mike, and then I'll come back tell that story, and then
Real
we'll get
Mackenzies.
Real Mackenzies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get the load of this bullshit. Fox News issues apology after airing graphics saying Ruth Bader Ginsburg had died.
What?
They just
Oh, what the fuck?
They said Ruth Bader Ginsburg died?
Fuck that shit.
So they're
making that mistake and still being able to keep your job.
The one detraction that fucking Fox News, one significant detraction they've ever fucking issued was because, we just willy-nilly said someone died who didn't.
Well, didn't they show a picture of
Well, this is the first time I didn't even know that they had said she died. I know that, like, she has not been sitting in the sessions. She's getting the notes and things at home and reading the briefs and reading everything, like recovering from her 17th bout with cancer because she's literally 747 million years old. Like,
I saw her documentary.
She is a fucking righteous dude. We need to make her a Russian bot, Rad. She needs to. She's just amazing.
Glorious.
The fact that, like, look, it's not that I agree with everything she's ever decided. It's not about that. Like, history is going to remember Ruth Bader Ginsburg as a fucking as a hero, as a fucking relentless fighter to her last breath. She will always be remembered that way, and she deserves it. And Fox News is so fucking disgusting, man.
Yeah, they are.
They're just so eager to bury her, like fucking bastards.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Decision.
I saw her
On the exact track.
Milo's even pissed off about this.
On the exact track, Mike, my decision.
Christ.
My decision on the exact track, Mike? Is that what you're saying?
I said poor decisions for the track.
Oh, the song. You want to hear poor decisions?
Yes, sir.
Is it good?
No.
Good.
He talks about being an old man making the decision to play punk rock instead of like making beer.
And I have to point out that the that it's spelled P-O-U-R. Well, you know what? Let's go. I have a live version here. It's got
Even better.
it's got four. It looks like it's pretty solid. It looks like a close-up view. I can't speak for the sound quality, but it's got 14 views. I'm thinking it's probably a pretty good version.
Works for me.
So this is the Real Mackenzie's Poor Decisions. And it looks like they're playing somewhere in Europe. And, God, dude, I've got the opportunity. In Scurvy Bastards, we played with them twice. And they were so good to us and thanked us on their album and thanked me. And I just love Paul with his fucking... He is literally slack-jawed. The dude has fought so many fucking Nazis in his life that sometimes his jaw just fucking gets fucked up and doesn't work right and shit. He's a fucking righteous anti-fascist motherfucker, man. I just adore Paul Mackenzie.
That's Paul.
I saw his balls once.
I also, Alice Cooper. So, even though I was very young, I approached my father. Now, my father wanted me to be a soldier, and my mother wanted me to be a Catholic priest. I said, Mommy, Daddy, I want to go to this rock show. And they said, if you go, you will not come back. So I thought about this, and I said, fuck the soldiers, fuck the church, I'm a rock and roller. I went to the show, and I did not go back. Called Poor Decisions.
I'll go out on it, Adam. Rain stopper. Right? They rule. From Canada. God, they're so good, man.
They're one of the greatest bands I've ever seen live, still to this day.
God,
I saw them in Santa Barbara back in the day.
What's that band called?
The Real Mackenzies
Oh, I've heard of them.
from British Columbia.
Wow, all of a sudden you guys are all gone. Where did you guys all go?
Uh-oh.
Piss break.
No, like
Punks for Progress, your piss break headquarters.
No. What I'm saying, the video of you guys, I can't. You're not up on the screen. I can hear you guys. Where the hell did it go?
Now Bobby
No, I had to blow my nose.
underwater at the nail
That's
salon.
it. I'm revitalizing
Bobby
my
has his
skin.
mask on. He's ready for bed.
You're exfoliating.
That's
Oh,
it.
now it's gone.
That reminds me of the female wrestling back in the day, Glow. They had the housewives, and they came out with their hair all up in towels, and they used to fight.
That was weird. Just the so you see, I'm bringing you guys back in. This just disappeared.
Yeah,
I had to go back into it and call you guys. And boom, it just popped back in. But I could hear you the whole time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you can't see us?
No, I can. I got you back. That's what I'm saying. Is I had to I just recalled it and boom, all of a sudden, it's just like the box, the screen that pops up that you guys are all in. It just disappeared.
There's a bat on my head.
There's a bat on your head.
Oh wait, I have fangs too. I didn't even notice that.
Bobby O's max headroom.
What was that noise they used to make? I used to watch that shit.
So
This one is
Crack that whip.
So I saw Sick of It All with Biohazard at the Mason Jar in Phoenix, Arizona.
Right.
And at the time, I had newly sort of stumbled on Sick of It All. And had just got a couple of their albums and just I'd always knew they were around, but never had the time or for whatever reason hadn't grabbed an album yet. And then I had recently just done that and realized they're fucking awesome, man. Sick of It All is great.
Greatest hardcore band to come out of New York.
And at that time, I was
one of the greatest hardcore bands in the world of all time ever.
absolutely.
Yeah, Sick of It All, because they had talent and their message was always fucking on point. I first saw them open up for Nasty Savage and DRI back in '89.
Pre-crossover. Was
It
that?
was when DRI was already sold out.
Oh,
They had
okay.
the Thrash Zone
I can't
record.
get rid of this thing. I'm sorry, you guys.
Leave it.
But I would say seeing Sick, it was on the Blood, Sweat, and No Tears tour, and that was probably the most violent pit I ever saw in my life. It was the skinhead jocks with the fucking windbreakers and all the DRI long hair kids, and it was just there was an ambulance parked outside of the venue the whole fucking night. Kids were getting their faces broke open. I was maybe 14 or 15 years old, way in the back just watching, and it was in a small ass club too in New Rochelle. But that was my first introduction to Sick of It All. But there was a big they did a show in 1996 at Mullally Park, which is a skate park right outside Yankee Stadium, and it was just so crazy to see Sick of It All in the middle of the South Bronx with the fucking train going overhead, Yankee Stadium in the background. That whole show was on YouTube. You could see it, Mullally Park, Sick of It All. It was fucking epic, and it was just it was in a park. You know what I'm saying? So it was asphalt, and you're moshing on fucking asphalt. It was so fucking hardcore. But I've seen them a shitload of times. I saw them with Napalm Death.
When they hit the scene, at that time, man, there was so much generic garbage coming out of the East Coast.
Yep.
And I just figured, and check it out, the name just didn't strike me as all that imaginative, and now I love the name, but so I just didn't give them any peace of mind. I just I knew they were out there. I didn't have any problem with them or whatever, but then I heard a track or something and was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
And
when they first came out on Revelation, they put out that
Yep.
The Alleyway EP on Revelation Records, and it wasn't that good. The production was real shoddy. But when fucking Blood, Sweat, and No Tears came out, in '89, that was it. They fucking launched after that. And the second record is great too. Just Look Around. Fucking love that album.
Yeah, and then in the mid '90s they were on Fat.
Yeah, like I think that was Us versus Them, and they had a couple of records on that label. I really didn't like Built to Last too much. Built to Last came out.
What?
Yeah,
Built
like
to
that
Last was a great record.
When that record came out, it was a little too.
So what I was saying is that check it out. I'm fucking finally discovering them, and I realized they're fucking great, and I really dived into them. Like these fucking they rule, and then boom,
Yeah.
they pop up. They're playing in town. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go see them. So I like actually bought tickets in advance, and like didn't drive, planned to fucking drink, right? And like I get there, and you know this is back, you know, I'm wearing the chain drive wallet and shit, you know, like many punks have always done. I don't wear those anymore because it gets stuck on everything. Seriously, that thing gets stuck on everything. Fuck the chain drive. But
yeah,
the button used to wreck the back pocket of your jeans.
Yeah, I have so many jeans that have 2 fucking holes in the fucking pocket. You know. But like, so but I was wearing that at the time, and so I get to the fucking Mason Jar in Phoenix, and the dude at the door's like, you can't have that wallet in here. I'm like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do with it? You know, he's like, well, you could go stuff it in that bush over there.
I used to do that.
And I'm like, not my wallet, man. Fuck no. You know? And like, I look over to the side, and I see Lou and his brother. What's his brother's name? Guitar player?
Oh, fuck. Lou is the singer, Lou Kohler, and fuck, I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Well, I see him. You know, he's got the Punisher tattoo and shit, and like,
yeah, they're cool dudes.
Way cool. So I see him loading some stuff off to the side. So I walk up to him and I'm like, hey man, like, check it out, dude. They're not letting me in because I got my wallet and whatever. And I'm like, I already bought tickets and shit. And he's like, well, what do you want me to do about it? You know? And I'm like, well, can I carry some of your shit in or something? You know, like, straight up, I did. I bought a ticket, man. Like, you know. He's like, fuck yeah. And he's like, nah. And he's like, check it out. Come here. And he fucking grabs me like that, you know, fucking arm in arm, and like walked me in the club, right?
Armin is his name.
There you go. And so he, like, yeah, Armin puts his arm around me and fucking walks me into the fucking club. And like, cool. So I'm in the club now. Biohazard plays. Was never too impressed by them. And then Sick of It All gets up. Starts, I don't know, what do you call it? Fucking killing it. And some fools are right up at the front. So the Mason Jar is like, here's the stage, you know, floor level, and there's like a 3-step up thing, and then kind of a second level, and there's like pool tables up there. And there's a railing there, and that's where I decided to post up because it was a good sight. You could see the band. So I see them and fucking, they're playing, and then there's like a dude's up front, Zeke Highland, right? And Lou stops the song and he says, check it out, man. He's like, I don't give a fuck what you believe. You can believe whatever the fuck you want. But you ain't gonna Z me because I ain't down for that shit. Cool it with that shit. Keep it to yourself. That's not what we're about. 1, 2, 3, 4, and start playing again, right? And they don't stop. They keep doing the fucking shit. And so Armin, it is, I almost want to get up and try and show you what, there's just no way I could show you, dude. It was superhero comic book shit, bro. He fucking, it's like, how do I describe what he did? He had just had enough, dude. And fucking, he got his fucking shit off, and when he he jumped off the fucking stage, dude. Like, in the air, like this. You know what I mean? And fucking when he's
like a fucking superhero, that dude.
I mean, just leaped into the middle of all these fucking dudes. And like, it just instantly, just a fucking total tsunami of fucking violence. And when I got inside, I saw a dude who I knew, and like, so like, he was kind of a Herbert. He wasn't really a punk rocker. People know Herberts are. There's punk skins and there's Herberts. You can figure out what punks and skins are. Herberts are people who like, they like punk music and they like punk people, but they would never consider themselves punks, and they don't want to get a mohawk, and they don't want whatever, and you know, but they genuinely like the music and their friends are real punks. They're Herberts, man. So what's up to all the Herberts? But he was kind of a Herbert.
Herbs in New York.
Okay, so Herbs. So he's a Herbert, and fucking, and I saw him, and he's kind of a timid dude, but like, so I look over and I see this fucking bonehead dude. He's literally dropped a fucking 8-ball in a sock. And he leaped over that railing and went into it too with this 8-ball in the sock, just pop, 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 like a rapid fire fucking boom, just nailing people. Boom, 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 boom. And like, soon as I saw that, I noticed my Herbert friend is standing like 2 feet from it, like just totally frozen, deer in the headlights guy. And so I like jumped over, I grabbed him, and we're out of here. And fucking, so, and I guess a final cap to that story was Warped Tour like a year, I guess it's a year and a half or so ago. Punks for Progress was invited by Refuse Fascism to table with them at Warped Tour at Shoreline. And Sick of It All was playing. So there's video if you want to check it out, me talking with Lou and about Trump actually. And I
think I've seen that.
But he you don't see it in the video, but him and I talked a lot about that show. And he just instantly got animated when I was like, do you by chance remember, it's been a long fucking time, but do you remember the Mason Jar show in Phoenix? And he was like, yo, fucking, you know, like totally remembered it, you know, and it was like, and at the time, he did promise to come on here and talk to us a little more about it, because there was a whole bunch more that happened, because I grabbed my I don't remember his name, that's why I keep calling him Herbert, but like, when we bailed out of that show, like I don't know anything more, and Lou started telling me some more stuff at the Warped Tour about like what went down, and but he does follow us, our Facebook page. He follows the Punks for Progress, shares our stuff a lot and stuff, and
Lou does?
yeah, and
hell yeah,
and so like, I don't know if he subbed us here. He probably hasn't, but if you are watching, Lou, much love, brother. Yeah, I think eventually we will get Lou Color on Punks for Progress, and we'll talk about the Mason Jar show. Like, straight up, that'll happen. Because I have talked to him about it, and he said he was into it, but it's like, you know, he doesn't have to work for George Soros like we do. You know what I mean? He has other avenues, you know, revenue streams, and we do what we can for George Soros and get our Mason checks, and, you know.
My check is late this month.
You mean paychecks?
No, well, mine came on time this week. It was a little light.
My hand's numb from holding my fucking phone, George. I'm serious.
You know, after that election in Alabama, when there were all those right-wingers talking about Soros conspiracy theories being involved in Alabama and shit, the next day, at work, I put a note on my tip jar that said, to pay back George Soros for getting us to vote in Alabama.
Hey, you know, in all seriousness, the Hungarian fascist movement with Viktor Orban, it's all about George Soros. Like, all the rhetoric, like, way more than we see here. Like, it's state fucking propaganda. Like, we've heard some of our members of the administration drop the name Soros here and there, but it's like a full fucking phalanx of Soros, you know, propaganda in Hungary in backing Viktor Orban. It's fucking gross. And their whole fucking slavery labor bill.
Regular media is promoting that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And the administration and so they passed this bill. They're calling it the slave labor law, but it's like, or the slavery bill. Because it is. It says that they can get, this number may not be totally accurate, but it's like, you can be expected to do like 30 hours of overtime a week, but it could take up to 3 years before you see your overtime pay. So what they're saying, what it was is I think is it's 68. That's the number that's popping in my head. That 68 hours a week you would work. And for anything over the 40, it could be 3 years before you see that compensation. And people are freaking the fuck out over it, right? And so all the people are flooding into the streets and they're fucking whatever. And so the administration is like saying it's all Soros. It's all Soros. It's George Soros. George Soros. And
Oh my God.
this is global, guys. This is global, fam. You know, this isn't just Proud Boys and Identity Europa and fucking Trump. You know?
It's clowning gallivanting around town.
It's just the fucking rise of right-wing populism. You know, they got a playbook with fucking 5 fucking talking points, and they run them for a month, and then the next month they have another 5 talking points, and it's just they regurgitate the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.